What's going on, everybody? Urjan with Suds to Success podcast. Today we got a special guest, Nick from DIYDetail. We got some secrets behind DIYDetail in this episode. Stay tuned.
Alrighty, episode 34, Suds to Success podcast. We have a good one. Nick from DIYDetail. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the podcast. Our website is suds2successpodcast.com, and we are on all social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there. Let's get in with the show.
I'm feeling that music, Andrew.
You like that?
Yeah. I want to dance a little bit.
There you go. There you go. We pay some money for that royalty-free music to put it in.
There you go.
All right. So, Nick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. I know it took a while to get here, and I'm happy to be here.
There you go. It's okay, though, because I always say, and, I always say that it will happen when it's meant to happen. And that's kind of what it is. And we were kind of talking about sometimes when you have a podcast and a show, what the viewers don't see kind of behind the scenes is people are busy. And when you want these great guests, Nick being one of them, they're busy. They're running companies, or honestly, it might not be the right time. You might be like at a place in your life. Like we've had other guests too, where like, listen, like I have so much going on, like this happening, this person passed away, my son's getting married, I don't want you on right now. Come on when you're calm.
And I had guests when I have been podcasting where it's like they just kind of keep kicking the can down the road, and I almost prefer just a firm yes or a firm no. So I've had some kind of awkward but like polite no's. Todd from Esoteric was just like, oh yeah, let me look into it. And then he like looked into, I don't know what he looked into, the company, me, whatever. And then he's like, I'd like to politely, decline the request. And I was like, I actually really respected that. I'm not mad at Todd. I was like, you were asked, you didn't leave me unread, so you didn't ghost me, and you actually responded and you said no, which is a hard thing to do, but I admire it, And then there's been other high profile guests who just kind of faded off into the distance. And I was like, are we doing this? And so anyway, you guys have a great system going on, and I'll bet you that means you have a great company, because there were a lot of like reminder text messages that were automated, like Suds of Success coming up in a week. It's coming up tomorrow. And I just love that. It was like very professional. Yeah.
Well, yeah, something we talk about on our show a lot is we have a lot of on our website, we have a lot of different softwares to kind of make detailing businesses easier, and it's just stuff that we refer or whatever. And that's something where like I like to do. I like it to be like easy. So if I can automate something where it's like, oh yeah, have our guests be reminded here, emails, whatever, it just makes the process easier. It also, in all honesty, it gives you a good first impression. So you're happy to come on. It's like, oh, these guys are on top of me. Like they're excited for me to be on. It's like that's kind of what our goal is with it. So Nick, quick introduction. Who are you? What have you done? Kind of go from there. Who are you with? Who is Nick?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure where to start, but I'm happy to talk about me. It's a subject most people are pretty familiar with, is talking about themselves, and that's not necessarily what I'm here to do in life, but you had me on as a guest, so I'll talk about myself a little bit. I'm half of DIYDetail with Yvan, but before that, I was a professional detailer. I had a mobile detailing business. I had a shop. It was about 850 square feet and then 4,000 square feet. And before that, I was a news reporter at Anchor. So I went to Northwestern University in Chicago, studied broadcast journalism, and minored in German, of all things. And then started my first TV news job in South Bend, Indiana. Then was in Denver market for 3 years. Then went to Seattle, was at the CBS affiliate out there. And then we had a kid. We had our first son in Seattle, and then we had another one on the way, and it was really a difficult pregnancy, and it was like, what are we doing in this studio apartment? I was like climbing the ranks of TV news, but also getting really burned out on it. I was working the morning show in Seattle, so I was in a big market. I'd kept climbing, but things were getting pretty intense politically too, and like I'd be covering protests and be getting shouted at, and I was like, aren't we covering the issue that you want to, share? And it just felt like less safe to be a journalist. There was more like talk about fake news, and it was just like, what am I really doing this for? I started to really fall out of love with news, and it really takes all of you. It's like you're not just a 9 to 5. It's not a punch-in job. On your off time, you're always looking for sources and for stories, and you're just working every angle. So in that morning meeting, you have good ideas that you can't Google. You're trying to come up with original story ideas that no one else has. So it's really hard work. It's a lifestyle, and I just fell out of love with that. And so as I was falling out of love with that, we had our 2 kids, and I was like, priorities were shifting. Let's move to Utah where I have family. It was a step down job-wise, so I kind of felt like when I moved here, I was working as a reporter and as an anchor, so I kind of went down in market size, but got a chance to actually sit behind the anchor desk, which, is like a more comfortable life. We're working hard still, but like it's kind of like a step up where you're maybe not in the trenches as much, even though you still kind of love that. The pay gets a little bit higher, but still is not great. And I was working as the weekend anchor, and I just kind of felt like, even then, I just felt like, what am I really doing? I've just been out of love with TV news for a long time. We moved like 45, 55 minutes away from the news station, and so I got like this 2017 Subaru Legacy at the time, which was a new car at the time, and wasn't anything special, but like was a nice car. And I wanted to keep it up nice, so I was like watching people on YouTube on how to clean your car. Darren from Auto Fetish, Chemical Guys, Scott from Dallas Paint Correction, Wilson Auto Detailing. And these guys know what they're talking about, but I was like, I spent my whole life like training to be on camera. I'm like, so I could probably do this better than them, and not better than them, but I was like, I could do
You're
this
trained.
as well as them. I was like, I was born for this. I'm on camera guy. This is what I do. But I was like, anyway, I was loving detailing, so I'm learning the craft, washing my own car, and then I'm like, keep watching these guys, and I'm like, they got these big YouTube channels. To me, they were big, and I'm like, I kind of have this desire to. I just felt like I was born to like achieve things, and I just felt really stuck in my job. I just wasn't really happy there. And so I started the YouTube channel as I started like this little detailing business. But at first, I got a couple jobs. I would just not show my face, and the YouTube channel wasn't taking off. And finally I said, YOLO, screw it. I'm going to start showing my face. And slowly but surely, like, got a few views, and then did a hate video on Matt Mormon from Cess Garage calling his Kranzle pressure washer crap or something because some O-ring didn't work and he had bad customer service. And he admits to like poor customer service. He didn't want to be a customer service company. He's like, you figure it out. I send you the Kranzle. I spec'd it out for you. You take it from here. But I'm not handy at all. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just kind of shared my journey, and then from there, like, the business picked up. I was never like a super profitable detailer, but if I spent long enough on the job, like, eventually, despite many inefficiencies, like, the job would be good, and people liked it. And I always loved mobile, man. I still love mobile. Like, you just really connect with the customer. They see how hard you're working. I like kind of adventures, so it was like every time kind of scared me a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna show up to this new adventure. I have no idea what the layout's gonna be like. How am I gonna survive? Like, let's go into the adventure today and see if we can transform this vehicle. And I was like getting paid on the spot. Anyway, so that's sort of like my journey into TV news to journalism, whatever. That was my journey from detailer to influencer and all the things. And then probably somewhere around the time where like I got my second shop, Yvan Lacroix sends me this message on Facebook, like, would you be interested in this like potential opportunity? Give me a call, very official. And we started chatting on the phone, and it almost sounded too good to be true. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm like, what would, he's like, you probably have to quit your news job because you'd be on the QVC, shopping channel and all these things. I mean, he had all these like ways he was describing it. We didn't know what it was going to be, but we had some ideas. And then like almost a year passed after that initial like lukewarm, yeah, I'm interested in this, before it kind of started to take off. And Yvan was driving through, and I didn't quite know what was happening. And then our now managing partner like flew into Salt Lake to meet me, and we like met at a friend's shop, and we all kind of like looked at the prototype chemicals, and we started testing them out on some cars, and like, this is kind of what we're working on. And we all just kind of sat down to some tacos in West Valley City, Utah, and it was kind of like, whoa, this is probably going to happen. And I was like, can I keep my news job at the time? And like, yeah, we'll just kind of do this on the side. And then we've kind of launched DIYDetail, and it didn't start very well. Like, no one really paid attention to us. And our managing partner reached out to me, and he's like, the only way this thing is going to take off is if like we dedicate you to like doing the social media full time. So we started to talk about it, and I got more excited, but it was like 14 years in TV news. Like, how am I going to leave this? And he's like, I'll match your salary, and, then you have a stake in the company, right? And so Yvan and I were equals in the company. I was like, I just want to make sure I'm going in equal with this guy, because I'm like, I don't want to be, I know we play a different, dynamic on camera, but like, we got into this as equals. And I just made sure all the paperwork looked right, and my vibes were great. Like, I really feel like, our managing partner's amazing. Yvan Lacroix is amazing. Like, I was like, I want to make sure this team is good, because I'm leaving the only thing I've known. I mean, I've spent my whole life doing this. It's not that long, but like 14 years, and I went to college for it. So yeah, it's a decent chunk of time for sure. And it was like a good job, but like the pay wasn't great, to be honest with you. And I knew what my ceiling was. It was like an average income with a really stressful job, working crazy hours, nights, weekends. And I just was like, And then having something to own versus working for somebody. It's like the dream we all have as entrepreneurs. And I'm not necessarily all that entrepreneurial, but I have a capacity for risk taking. And I was just like, okay, like let's give it a shot, you know. And it wasn't something I could brag about to any friends because it wasn't successful. It was nothing, right? Like people in the TV news industry are like, that's fine. I wanted to like impress people, you know, like, oh, I'm stepping off to this thing, but like the reality is it didn't sound cool to anybody, and to a lot of people it doesn't sound cool unless you're in detailing still. But you know, you had to like trust your instincts and your heart and do all the mental calculations, and yeah, I just kind of jumped off the cliff and knew that I had a good team around me and said, yeah, let's try it. So that's kind of how it all started. And this was we finally launched in 2022. So
I remember I did a efficiency training with Yvan here, and it was around when DIY was starting. So he was bringing it. They're all unlabeled bottles and whatever. We had no idea.
Oh,
what
that
the
was
hell
around. Oh, it was the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were trying I think it was, which product was it that we were trying? We tried the rinseless, maybe Quick Beads, or I think it was Quick Bead. And we were using it, unlabeled bottles, whatever, and we're spraying on the cars. I'm like, oh, this is good. He goes, no, it's for DIY only. Like, you're not gonna want to buy this. And I look at him, I go, I think I'm gonna want to buy this. Like, it's pretty good. Because we were at that time, the only product that kind of was on the market was kind of similar, was like McKee's, so like water activated stuff. And McKee's was good, and that's what we had in the shop. And for Canadians, there's not many distributors that sell McKee's here. So he kind of had this, and he's like, and he did stuff with McKee's too. Like, they did a lot of videos together back then. So we were I was using anything he would recommend, because when we were doing like coaching, he's like, oh, use anything that's efficient. He's still like that. Like, I'll call him now. He'd be like, yeah, don't use this. He'll push you to whatever makes most sense.
Yeah.
So in the training, we started using the stuff, and he goes, yeah, it's like a consumer brand. I go, dude, like, I don't know if this can be a consumer brand. Like, why would you make it a consumer brand? I wouldn't use it. And Dean, who's there, you've never met Dean, but he's an older gentleman that works out of his garage, that he's just hilarious. And he's not the most business oriented guy, but he just wants everyone to do well and wants everyone to be happy. So he's funny. And he looks and goes, I want this in my shop. That's what he pretty much said to him. Yeah. And then after that training, kind of DIY kind of went into, and it was already going, but after that, we're like, he's like, oh, those products are coming out. And then for us, TOC, which is a distributor for Canada, there's Carzilla too, we deal with TOC. Yeah. They were kind of growing up at the same time. So I was like, you got to talk TOC. I'm like, I don't know, like whatever. So I talked TOC, and we actually got it. So now my shops ran, I would say, probably 80% on DIY. And what I find, what's nice about it is it's easy for customers to look at. The other thing too, so I'm gonna be honest, I have multiple brands on my shelf for customers to pick up. So I have like PNS, I have DIY, it's just PNS and DIY.
You're like me.
Yeah. But what's interesting about your labels, the DIY brings them into the shelf.
Yes.
The labels, whatever you did to those labels, whoever you paid to make those labels, pay them more, because like the customers will look at them. I had stuff on there before. I had different brands. Yeah. Like, it did okay. And like, you know, like, it's like, okay, we're fine. I'll get a detail spray or whatever. Yeah. Like, they'll get that. Now they'll look, like, customers will walk in, just like regular interior customers, like the ones that are just like bringing a van that, you know, don't care about the vans. Like, I'm like, mentally, I'm like, you're not buying any detailing products. Like, they'll look at, like, what is this stuff? Yeah. Like, that's an interior detail spray. Should I buy this? Yeah, like, it'll make cleaning your cars here. What does it smell like? I'm like, oh, it smells like, all this stuff smells good. Oh, this smells great. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'm like never happened. Like, so,
you know, I agree. The labels were done before I came on, and I know that, you know, we paid the guy who did it like well, or there was some kind of, it was not a cheap, you know, and I'm sure, I was so impressed with the labeling. I was like, oh my gosh. And we trademarked the name and everything. I'm like, DIYDetail. And when I talked to the managing partner, I was like, what's your why? You know, I'm like, I was like digging deep. I was like doing the journalism thing. I'm like, what's your why? And it was seriously, there's so much hype out there and there aren't a lot of great products. And it's like, let's get professional grade products. And now it seems like everyone's got great products. But even a few years ago, there weren't as many great ones out. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just think you should buy from who you like. You know, buy from someone you like and trust and know is going to take care of you on the customer service end. Like, I think we've proven that's what we do, right? With the teaching and the videos and answering the comments and all the things. But at the time, I was such a product nerd. I was like, I'm buying this ceramic detailer from Owner's Pride. It's like $55 for a tiny bottle. and I'm using that as my spray sealant because I think it's so robust and good. And when I realized ceramic gloss, which I love and I got to name, we could price it at $19.99 and it was just as good. I was like, this is going to be a winner. I'm like, this is the kind of product that I wanted to use as a pro, that if I accidentally used too much on a detail, it wasn't a big deal. If I did an interior and wanted to wash it for free, even though Ivan says don't use the F word, and I wanted to put some, ceramic detailer on there, like, I could do the ceramic gloss and it's not a big deal because it's not an expensive product. And when I realized we were going to be able to offer that kind of product to people, I was like, it's a slam dunk. I believe in this stuff. This stuff is amazing. And we were not going after pros at all. It's just Ivan and I had enough of a following in terms of professionals that pros were paying attention. And like you said, Andrew, once you got it in your hands, you're like, this stuff just works. And so, yes, there are a lot of great products out there. But when you take an exterior detail, especially, and you use our products, like, it's just a system. It's a recipe. And if you do it the way that we teach, you get results. Like, it just works.
When they last. So like I used to do wash, glaze, and wax with Optimum. So what I used to do. So same type of deal. And I remember when Ivan started moving more to this, I'm like, can I do this with ceramic gloss? He goes, oh yeah. So I didn't tell anybody I changed because customers, they don't notice, right? I'm like, whatever. I like this stuff, smells better. It lasts longer. I like the product. It's already here. So I started changing it. The amount of customers at like the 3-4 month marks, because it starts to obviously fade off. And these customers, I'm throwing them for like a quick upsell. So it's like, they're not like coating customers where like they're keeping their car clean. Like these are getting poor, like daily driven cars. They're not taken care of. I'll get calls from people that I normally wouldn't get calls like, yeah, my car's not slippery anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? So that's the first thing I show them with ceramic gloss. I'm like, feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like instantly they're like, oh, this is great. So now like I have like minivans that would come back and they're like, I need the van to be like shiny and slippery again. What did you do to that? I'm like, oh, we waxed it, whatever. Okay. The difference that product does, and what else I use it for, is upselling too, in terms of this is what a coating looks like. It's not going to last as long. It's almost like it almost gives you an idea. I'm like, okay, I've sold literally coatings because like the customer's like, what are these little water droplets on my car? I'm like, oh yeah, it's beading. Like it's a cheap way. I said, it's kind of like a trial. So I tell them, like, it's not as durable. It's not going to give you the protection like a coating would, but it will kind of give you an idea of what's going to feel like, what's going to look like. And when I do really well with sales, when I tell them how they're going to feel with it. So when they're like, it's not just like, oh, I'm protected from bug guts. It's like, you're going to feel great driving the car and feel the car. And they're like, oh yeah. And then, yeah, it's that product, I think, is your best product. The polish too. I use the polish a lot, but ceramic gloss, because I mean, I'm an owner's pride installer. We both are. Yep. And Paulo said, ceramic detail. I'm like, dude, good luck. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you will not beat the price of this, and you're not going to beat the quality of it. And their stuff works. Like, it's good stuff. That.
Yeah.
Like,
so ceramic detailer, like that was the pink stuff or whatever. We loved the pink stuff. I love the smell of it. Like, I used to use it in my shop, but it's like more than twice. I don't know what they charge now, but it's just so exorbitantly expensive. That. Yeah.
And with this, it's just easy. That's what I kind of like. The hardest thing, because I love Ivan. I mean, we've had him on. He's a good friend of mine. But he does know, like, if there was a product that I found that was cheaper and more efficient and made more sense, he would not be heartbroken if I left and got a different product. That's just who he is. So, like, I just joke around. Like, it's always open. Like, if a company comes in, like, oh, try this. Like, I had a company, where are they from? Ottawa area in Canada, our capital. They're like, we got to try this product. I'm going to send you for free. Like, I saw you're using DIYDetail because I did a TikTok, sent us stuff for free. And I'm like, you can, like, I mean, I'm happy with who I'm with and whatever. Sent it. I'm like, this is not anywhere near. I'm like, sorry, like, I can't change. Like, it is what it is. But you guys do a good job. The other thing is, you guys just aren't a product brand. Like, the amount of marketing, like, so Ivan helped us with the podcast, like, just different tips. I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't detailers.
No,
you're like
not at all.
Yeah,
the reason why we have
but organic marketers, like, yes. I couldn't tell you how to run. Like, we do have an SEO company, and if we do ClickFunnels, or if we're in your Instagram stories or whatever, that's not above my pay. It's above my pay grade. I don't know how to do that. But organically, we know how to pump out content about detailing for sure.
Yeah. The reason why the thumbnails, like, if you look back at our old videos, you're going to see the thumbnails. We're tiny little people in the corner, huge text, a million different things. And Andrew and I were in Toronto for tint training, and we've said it on the podcast before, but I go, we're talking about, like, getting stuff for we're already going to order stuff. Might as well just pick it up while we're here. Check it out. So we go there, and I'm like, it'd be funny if we seen Ivan here. I swear to God, we walk in and Ivan just yells, Andrew. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I recognize that. And freaking Ivan was there. I'm like, what the heck? But the one thing I love about DIY, and I don't remember if I said in the Ivan podcast, I have like, what, 9 or 10 products from DIY in gallons and stuff. And anytime I need a product, I'm just leaning more towards DIY. It's not because I've talked to Nick and Ivan. It's not because of that. It's just they honestly work. Like even ceramic gloss, my favorite product by far. I lean towards it every single time, whatever the option is. I always go for ceramic gloss. And then rinseless wash, like I started doing rinseless washing windows. Andrew always tell me, dude, why are you getting glass cleaner? Use rinseless wash. Now, I literally looked at my employee today and I go, I am so happy we don't have a bottle of glass cleaner in here. It just works for everything. And then the branding again, Andrew, I texted Andrew, I was like, do you sell interior clean and protect? And he goes, yeah. And I go, do you find it sells better? Because I'm selling Express Interior and I've had 2 people buy Express Interior. Out of all the DIY, I've sold out Tire Shine all the time. What else do I sell from DIY? I don't know. DIY stuff just sells out like hotcakes. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's the labeling. Honestly, it's the labeling. It pulls you
Really?
in.
It's not because
like,
they've seen us on YouTube or whatever. It's actually the labels.
Andrew's
I've
had
had
customers
both.
like that.
I've
Andrew's
had
had customers
both
like that.
where they're like, I saw these guys on YouTube, and I'm like, oh yeah. I go, what were they talking about? Well, this guy with like this mustache and
It's
these
always
glasses
Ivan,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. DIY details. Oh, you got it. And he started looking. But yeah, a lot of it for me that I noticed, I do get those. Like they watch the content, which I never had before. It's
No.
like I never had like any other brand where they're like, oh, I watched X brand. No, it really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Now it's more of a thing. So something else is cool too is I always like patterns. So you're right. Like 5 years ago, there wasn't many good brands. Like there was
No.
brands, but there wasn't like brands that like would teach you or whatever. When you know you're doing something right is when you look around and all the brands are copying you now. Like that's how you know. Like those brands 5 years ago, they're all trying to do content now. Everyone, like all of them, because they're like they notice how you guys started at the bottom, went to the top, and when you look up detailing, it's all you guys, all over short form, like TikTok, Reels, everything.
Ivan really pushed me to go hard on the paint on this. I gotta really tip my hat to him. I have a natural ability to do this stuff. Ivan and I work great as a team on camera, but as a kind of a creative person, it's like, well, the video takes as much time as it takes to make, and da da da. And Ivan was like, we are gonna get a system in place. We will have da da da, and it's just like we have to be 2 weeks ahead, and we need to do like a video at this time. Let's look at the analytics on, and like I still believe, like in my heart of hearts, if the video is good, Ivan is not smarter than the algorithm. Okay, if the video is good, YouTube will get this to the people that need to see it. However, I like Ivan's approach. It's worked. Get a system in place and just constantly feed it, give it, just like, and it's not just making content to make content, because Ivan's always got something fascinating to say, and I'm always like, what? Teach me, and because he never stops. He doesn't just make videos and then he's just like chilling on the bus. Like he can't stop working on cars, consuming content about anything with an engine and 4 wheels. So or 2 wheels or whatever. So he's really just a student of the game, and our talents combine really well. But yeah, the organic stuff, I mean, it just works. And his thing is like early on, I was wanting to get really creative with these videos, and he's like, what is the point of this YouTube channel? And I'm like, what do you mean, what's the point? Like, we're trying to make videos that people want to watch, and of course we want to sell products. And he was like, education, right? And he was right. And I mean, if you look at the brands that have really big followings online, they're doubling down on education. They're not trying to go too crazy with the entertainment. Now, there's certain exceptions there, but the reality is some of the entertainment channels don't maybe sell as many products, right? But they have like millions of views. So anyway, I realize it's about serving people for sure. And as Ivan says, like educating them. So the videos have value. They're evergreen, right? The video we did last year might look different, but the concepts still work.
And what I like, because I always look at you guys' comments, especially whenever we're having a guest on, I always look at like kind of a few videos. The amount of people that ask in their comments, where do I buy this? Because they don't even think you're a company. They think you're just educating people on YouTube. I'm like, that is brilliant. I'm like, this is because you guys don't push it. You're like, oh, I'm using this. You don't, I mean, also, I mean, your walls say DIY on them and you're wearing DIY shirts. Like, they might not
pretty
be
corporate in that way.
yeah, they might not be the sharpest detailer, but in terms of like, you guys do a good job at making it seem like it's not a sales pitch.
Yeah, and I mean, I edit, and even Ivan was like, we need to have a short out every day, and would we grow more if we had 5 shorts out every day? Probably, but like right now it's me and then his wife Sylvie so she'll edit the videos where on Monday he's out in the wild doing whatever he does, visiting people, and he's just never. They probably have 100 videos that haven't even been edited yet because it's always doing something. And then she'll do the garage audit videos for him on the House of Rags. But yeah, it's just the discipline of like putting a short form video out every day. And there's some times where I really try to like, okay, let's make sure we get the product in there. There's other times where it's just like, it has nothing to do with our product. And Ivan's just like, before you use your pressure washer, make sure the tip goes away from the ground, not at it. Otherwise, you could damage the paint while it flies off and hits it. There's not one mention of DIY in there, but it has like millions of views. Yeah. So if the eyeballs are on you, you don't always have to be selling stuff, right? And then Gary Vaynerchuk says jab, 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 right punch. I think it's a book of his or whatever. Yeah. So the jab, jab, jab is giving free stuff away. And then the punch is like, hey, we have a big sale going on, or buy our products, right? So if we just focus mostly on giving it away, and it's not just a formula. I think it's also kind of a karma thing. It's like you give a lot away, you serve, you educate, and we have great products. Like people will come to us. So I'm like, there's lots of great products. Buy what you want from whomever you want. But like, I like buying from people. Like the things that I really care about on YouTube that I watch and stuff, I want to support the people doing that. And I think it's working. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to improve, and there always will be, and we're always thinking about that. But yeah, for anyone out there who's like trying to make content, it's not an easy thing. It's a full-time job, but it's also something you can do on the side while you're working a full-time job if you're hungry enough. Because I did that for a while too. Like growing my Hawk Pro Detailing YouTube channel, I would make sure I did a video every day. And I know that a video every day is not necessarily the goal. There's plenty of good content on YouTube, but there is something to be said for a fresh video. It feels like the algorithm really rewards that with a jump in views. So if you can be consistent, if it's not a video a day, that's pretty wild. But if you can be consistent and hopefully not just keep doing things, like try to improve, see what you're doing well, see what's not, like look at what other people are doing. What thumbnails is on the really well-watched video? Like, can I learn from that? It's Ivan early on was like, you need to watch these videos of you detailing and treat it like an Olympic sport, like an Olympic athlete. Like you're missing right around the wheel well every time. You got to watch the tape. It's like a football player watching the tape. That's how seriously he takes it. And what I realize now is like, at first I was like, well, it's just cleaning cars. Like it's no big deal. But it's like, if you want to have exceptional results, you got to give exceptional effort. And that's what I've realized with Ivan is it's not a mistake. You just have to work harder than other people and you're going to get the results, like in sports too. So don't treat it like I'm just kind of doing it for, it's fun, whatever. Like, no, like you work exceptionally hard if you want that sort of exceptional result. And I don't know if you know, Andrew, you probably do. That man works harder than anybody I've ever met.
He has one speed, it's go.
Yeah.
This guy was replying in comments on our podcast episode with him at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm waking up and I'm like, I was replying to people. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, Andrew, we got to reply.
And I already have a text. I already have a text from Ivan at 5 a.m. Why haven't you replied to these people? They've been waiting 4 hours.
He texted you that?
Oh, yeah.
See, and that used to really bug me until I realized, like, it's not personal. I would always, Ivan would know this. I'm not spilling the beans to him, like, oh, I should just tell it to him instead of tell it to the world. But it's like, I took it personal early on. I was like, I don't like the way you talk to me. It's too direct. It feels like a personal attack. And after a few years, it took a couple years, but I was like, no, it's just what's best for the business. Was he right that you should have responded to those comments? He was.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't like the way he said it, that's one thing, that's his approach. But when it comes to like what is best for the business, he just doesn't have a filter and he'll just say what's on his mind. And it's a very effective, like the way that he thinks about things. It's what is best for the business. And so I don't take it personally anymore most of the time.
Most of the time. The more you speak, you remind me of Erjan a lot. Erjan, mobile detailer, loves mobile probably more than his shop right now because he can do new things. I'm the guy that when I was mobile, I pretty much had anxiety attacks. I'm like, there's so many unknown variables. I want to be back in my shop. So
I
it's
love
so
that.
funny.
I love mobile detailing. It was
Mobile's the
incredible.
best, man. It's hard, but it's like,
Dude, I seen houses I didn't even know people had the money for around here. And I'm like, what the, like I had a customer blaring out music. He's like, yeah, what kind of music do you like? I'm like, I don't know anything. And he's like, okay, boom. This whole house, this whole freaking front lawn just starts beaming music. And I'm like, yo, this is sick. Like, I didn't know houses could do that around here.
Well, do you feel like you bonded more with the customers when you're
100%.
mobile?
Because you're in their, like, you're at their house, you know, you got to kind of make it more comfortable. So, like, I don't know if you're trying more. Like, everybody's used to going to the mechanic, drop your car off for a few days, whatever. Now, but it's like, oh, someone's coming to my house to clean the car. Oh, am I going to keep the garage door open? I honestly had people's garage code, their garage code, open the car up. Yep, the keys are right there, blah, blah, blah. I've had people say, oh, if you want to come eat, they'd offer me burgers, anything. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, yo, this is sick. Now I got to go buy Uber or go drive out and get some food. But
well, yeah. And then, you know, they're handing you an envelope with cash on Christmas, or I went through a divorce and I got, you know, like a life coach, you know, but I got 3 sessions with a life coach from one of my wealthy clients who was like a therapist, you know, like she was like the celebrity life coach in Park City, Utah. You know, she's married to this, like, you know, B-list celebrity and like in Hollywood, like, so just like you get access to people's like kind of like elite worlds, and you kind of feel like they kind of take you under their wing, and you feel like connections open up, and you get inspired by their wealth and their or how they treat people. You learn people's ways. Like, okay, this person treats the help well, this person doesn't. I want to be like this person. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of see how they move, and you get a feel for like their lives. The relationship, they see how hard you work, and they always really appreciate that. And then the people come up and say, hey, can I get a card? You know, like that stuff just didn't happen in the shop. So I was great in the wild. I was great. And great is not the right word, but I've done a few mobile details recently. It's hard, but it's fun.
Mobile, honestly, it's like free advertisement almost.
Yeah.
It's like easy for a foam cannon on someone's driveway, and they're on a busy road. Easy. 5 people.
Because I was gonna say, do you feel like, because Andrew, I'm all rinseless now. Like I'm still the foam guy in the DIY garage because I love it, but I really like to do things quickly because it just feels like detailing takes so long anyway. So I did this coating the other day, and I just did rinseless on, sprayed it off, rinseless on, contact wash, you know. But do you think, as the mobile guy, that I should be doing the foam show when I'm mobile? Because it does more advertising, kind of like, oh, I'm putting soap on the car, I'm a detailer. Like, do you think that matters?
So I'll tell you this: when Ivan first taught us, he was totally against soap until DIY came out and had a quality soap. So I never had soap. It was just rinseless wash. Like you remember he went to my shop, he's like, get rid of it. Like literally, I remember it like it was yesterday. Now we have obviously the soap, and we have different things now. The only time we use it, so last year we started a winter wash program because I'm like, you know, we do a lot of coatings. Like we do a decent amount of coatings. So I'm like, these customers, they would always call me like, can you take care of my car? Can you wash? We don't really do like washes during the busy times. We're so busy. It's not profitable for us.
Right.
I'm like, the winter we're slower. Fine, we'll offer it. And we'll do it like a monthly subscription. So it's like $50, ceramic coating, customers only, whatever. And I remember my employee looked at me, he goes, man, I just got to tell you, rinseless wash is not sexy.
Yeah.
You can't, like, if you're having someone sit here, you can't rinseless wash their car. I'm like, you know what? You're right. So the first one we did rinseless wash, they're like, yeah, you know, okay, great. What is that stuff? And I'm like, oh, it's rinseless wash, whatever. My employees are doing it. I'm like, okay. Second one, we get the foam cannon out. Really opinionated lady. So very much so like make it across. She goes, oh, this is great. She goes, it smells great in here. Yeah. It looks great. They're using the soap. They're doing this. They're doing that. And they're drying it off. She goes, yeah, this is a wash. And I look at my employee. You're right. Like he goes, is the rinseless wash quicker, easier, more profitable? 100%.
100%.
But the sell factor of us using the soap and the foam cannon is what we want. And what that program really did in my business was it made all of them have came back for details and whatever. I just had out of, let's say, I think we had 15 people in the program. At least 50% of them referred someone else for ceramic coating, or they brought them to their wash appointments. They got to meet us. So it's totally what it was. It was the best advertising tool. So to answer your question, really like long-winded, yeah, I would say
Yeah.
soap is the sexy answer. So you're looking for advertising and you want to look like hot and you want to be like, I want to get this neighbor's car, use the soap with the foam cannon. If you want to be quick and you want to get out of there because you're busy, use the rinseless.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. And I don't need the business. I do it for content on Nick at Night, the podcast on the House of Rags. But it's fun, it's fun to like have someone come up and be like, hey, will you do mine next? Because it just kind of brings you back to that hungry stage where I was doing, and so, but I really, there's not a lot of time to go out and do a bunch of mobile details. But yeah, I still want it. I still want it. Bring it. I want to be wanted. So yeah, maybe next time I'll bring the foam cannon out. It's gonna take me a long time. I just gotta go to rinseless, but
just move faster. Because I love washing in the sun. It's like a battle against time, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done.
I love washing in the sun.
I'm because mobile detailing, I'm so used to washing it out in the sun that now in the summer we don't have a drain in our shop. So in the winter, I just wash everything. So in our shop we have like a containment mat. I don't use foam cannon. It gets everywhere. Our shop is not like as big as Andrew's. Because it just gets all over the walls and everything. So if we have a car on the other side, there's no shot. If I put it on a foam cannon, I'm wiping down 2 cars. So rinseless wash all throughout the cold season, and then in the summer, it's a foam show outside. And I just never had an issue with water spotting, never had an issue with soap stains and stuff like that. It's just like I'm so used to it, and I've not to float my own boat, but gotten so good at it where it's like I love it. Like I'm so quick, I can get it done. It looks perfect, done.
What's your process?
It's always something different. Honestly, I like to mess around with soaps and stuff. I've been using PNS Pearl. I want to really try Incredible Suds. I just haven't, to be honest with you. I put it. I think was it me and you, Andrew, talking about it, or we were talking about Yvan with it, and because it has a more cleaning power than like a pH neutral soap.
The other thing, my biggest gripe with it was too thick. So I'm interested to try the V2 because the V2, I think they just came out with a new one version if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Talk about that.
So Type 2 is great. It actually, what I like about it is it's not super thick as you're pouring it into your foam cannon. Like Type 1 is great because it provides thick foam, but you pour it out into the cap and then the cap's all gooey. And then it's like gooey everywhere, and you're trying to get the goo off, so you maybe dump it back in the foam cannon or in your bucket. And then, it sinks to the bottom of your foam cannon, the purple line, you got to shake the foam cannon up. Type 2 is great. It actually, we changed up the formula just a little bit, so it actually cleans better, and it actually rinses off easier. And you get really good foam, and if you're like, hey, I missed Type 1 foam, you can just put like another half capful or another capful in, whatever. So you can get as shaving cream lathery foam as you want. And what I've noticed is like 1 ounce is still all you need. It does depend on your like the TDS of your water and the foam can and the pressure washer you're using. Because I've seen guys just use 1 ounce still with Type 2 and get amazing lather. So, it's worth trying. Like I said, use whatever works for you. You're a professional in your shop, but I love Incredible Suds Type 2.
Yeah, it works. There hasn't been ever a DIY product that didn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like just the way we teach it: foam, rinse, foam, contact wash, iron remover on the bed of lubrication, whatever you washed with the decon towel. 1 spray on the panel, 1 spray on your towel, apply, move on to the next panel. Rinse, water spot remover, agitate in with the rinseless washer, Incredible Suds dampened towel, rinse. And then you're ready. You're ready to polish. You're ready to put a ceramic coating on after that, or you're ready to just put ceramic gloss on. And it's like you can go from start to finish, A to Z, and like literally have a standard operating procedure without having to know much about detailing. So it takes the guesswork out of it. I know that's another saying of another brand. I wasn't meant to go there, but yeah, it just works.
Yeah,
it just works, which is what I love. I love being able to like. Yeah,
you've never really had someone come on who sells products that says less is more. And like Andrew, the first time he showed me how to wash, clean, and wax. And he's like, yeah, 1 on the towel, 1 on the thing. Because I never used to watch Yvan before. I'll be honest with you. I only learned it through Andrew. And he goes, yeah, 1 iron remover spray on the towel and 1 on the paint. I'm like, that's enough? I've seen all these videos, people soaking the entire car down. I'm like, dude, this guy, like to this day, I still do it. One on the towel, one on the paint. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I think I need more. I think I need more. I think I need more. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Ivan says no.
I literally
It's-
have Ivan's voice in the back of my head when I'm doing an iron removal. And it's like one spray, one spray, one spray.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it
are you
works
paying? Are you
amazing.
paying for? Are you paying for the product? This is a real question. And if you are, that's a good reason to do it that way. No, seriously. And then
Yeah.
I found that polishing paint has gotten so much less stressful for me ever since I just adopted the system. You know, the rinseless wash, dampen pad washer, one spray of the gold standard polish. Just like stop overthinking it. Stop going for perfect paint. You're removing so much clear coat. You're spending all-nighters on this. You being me. And I just I did a one step on this guy's Volkswagen Bug this last weekend, and he was so stoked. And it was full of deep stuff. It's a 2015. It's his wife's black Bug. But it was really shiny. And then we ceramic coated it, and he's like sending me pictures the next day. I'm like, Ivan was right. You know, it's like, and sure, if I like removed all the clear coat and like gotten it to a glassy finish by being there till 2 a.m., you know, like undermining the like longevity of the paint, but making it look good in that moment, even though it's a daily driver that drives 45 minutes each way and probably gets car washed. You know, it would have looked good at first, but
Yeah.
was it worth it? Like you're not getting paid anymore. I don't know. Just the genius of the polishing system too. That's why I say on exterior details especially. It's a system. It works. It's easy. Customers are pleased. I'm pleased. You know, I'm saving time, saving effort. The system just works.
Yeah.
I won't say that anymore. I've said that a lot. Sorry, guys.
It does
What I
really work.
like, it does work. But what I like about both your dynamics, so I followed you in Hawk Pro detailing. So back when I started, it was kind of like exactly Wilson, Scott Blay, Darren, and you were kind of, and Ivan. I would kind of follow him around when he did different things on the Raycom, and you're all over the place. Those are pretty much the main channels I'd watch. What I liked about yours was you never really were selling something. So you were very easy to relate to because you're like, hey, like I'm doing this. I stayed up all night. And I started watching the ones with you and Ivan. Because I know he told me that story where your managing partner saw those videos and really liked the dynamic. And that's kind of what really got me to contact Ivan, actually. He doesn't know this. Because I looked at the way he treated you. And because in other videos, you know, other people in the detailing industry, just because, or in any industry, just because they're nice on camera doesn't mean they're nice off. So you might meet someone like they might have an ego off camera, they might be a pain. What I liked about Ivan in the videos was, I remember I saw one when they're outfitting your shop, and at the time, and they're like building this and whatever, and it was him and Sylvie, and like they were just so nice and whatever. And I'm like, you know, what was nice about you was you always were showing a tip in a video, and you didn't do it as you knew more. You're like, I just want to document my hell through this process, or I want to document the process so I could help somebody else. You weren't really, I don't want to say you weren't teaching, because you were, but you were doing it in a different way where I didn't feel like I was a student. I felt like I was an equal, where I could look at it and I'm like, wow, like, you know what? I'm having that problem with glass. And you just like, okay, so I tried this, and this is what I find works. Or like Ivan would kind of pan into your cart and he had all these products all over the cart. I was the best scene ever, because knowing Ivan now, I'm like, well, he must have just ripped you right after like that clip, because you had everything. You had a lot of, I remember your Paul, and you had a couch. Didn't you have a couch in that shop too?
Couch in there, dude. Well, because like during the divorce, I was actually sleeping in the shop.
Yeah.
So detailing is not for the faint of heart, folks, as we all know. Like this is a grind, you know. It took a while to get here. I've lived some life. I've had some ups and downs, like some hardships for sure to get here. Yeah, and having that shop, like I had a couch in there because I was living upstairs, you know.
Yeah.
For about 9 months. But yeah, the couch then went downstairs, I think. For
Yeah, it was
some
downstairs.
strange reason.
Like,
I don't know
yeah,
why.
he
it was
said
down there.
customers could sit on it or something. He just lost it. I remember.
Yeah.
And but
He was
going
right.
back,
I mean, what was I thinking? Yeah.
yeah, but going back to it, that dynamic was funny. Like, so like listening to him talk, 'cause he has a way of talking. He messages me. I don't take it offensively, but I'll ask a long-winded question. He'll be like, "No." I'll be like, "Okay." Like that's it. That's
There's no emoji. There's
Yeah.
no punctuation mark. It's efficient. It's how he is. Because you know what? 17 other people had messaged him by the time he got up
exact
that
same
morning.
thing. Yeah, and that's fair. And but that dynamic, I think that's what sells you guys. Is both it's the dynamic of you're you. You can tell you're not a fake guy. You're not. Like, even back then, you're the same guy, the same mannerisms. It's not like other channels where you're kind of looking, you're like, okay, you 4 years ago, you have a different accent now, or you're doing something different, or like you change. Like, you're not the same. You're you. Like, you can tell you're very authentic.
I
And
don't I don't fake it very well. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
Yeah.
he's very authentic too. And I
He
think
is
it
too.
really comes across that, that's why I think people are gravitated to your content. Is you guys are yourselves.
It's wild because, being in TV news, like you could be yourself and you feel like you had a really good live shot out in the field one day. But like you didn't get paid anymore. You might got a pat on the back, or like maybe the ratings were really
Yeah.
good for that show you were on that night. We got the ratings back. It's like, good job. It's like, but here, like if we have a video that performs really well, like maybe there's more Google AdSense money. Not that I don't just like get that money, or like, but you see that it like contributed to the great.
There's
We had a
rewards.
really good sales day, and like it feels really good. Like I got skin in the game here. I'm not just and so it's like for me, it's like very motivating. Like if we perform well in these videos, like you see a result. But no, as far as like the performance of it, I'll put a little bit of punch into my voice and a little bit more energy when we're on camera, and Ivan does too.
Everyone
you're performing.
does.
Everyone does. So, and I would argue that's not me being fake. That is just trying to like deliver through the camera and like bring you the energy and urgency that I feel like you deserve. Because I feel like something gets lost between here and the screen and then the other person. So a little bit more energy, I think, because I'm a little bit more chill. Even though I'm kind of nervous, stressful, as a human. I'm not super, but I try to punch it up a little bit for the camera. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty genuine, and then I try not to get upset if Ivan says something like that sounds mean. And I'm like, no, I don't think he meant it. I'm like, what do you mean by that, Ivan? I'll just like keep a smile on my face, because early on, he's come a long way. He's gotten more polished. Early on, dude, the comments were vicious. It was like, dude, this guy is being mean. Why? This is getting awkward to watch you guys. Because we did a wash and talk where I didn't edit it. And, Ivan's like very abrupt in the way he talks. Like, you missed a spot. And I'd be going on and he was just like, you could just tell his mind was in the spot that I missed. So he was kind of like, shut up, Nick, in the way he looked at me, and he'd be like, and, I don't think it's personal. I think it's just he's almost this OCD guy that if you missed a spot on the quarter panel, he can't really concentrate on the conversation until that gets addressed. So he's a different cat. But no, I sometimes I'm like, well, no, it's just all Ivan because Ivan's got all the expertise, and then I'm like, no. In my down moments, I'm like, no, we make a great team. Like the sum of our parts, is greater than the pieces or whatever the saying is. So,
And this is when I let someone be like that, is when I look at it from their point of view and I'm like, hey, why are they being like this? So not even him, but in general, why are they being like this? And you look from their point of view and I kind of try and look at it like from them. And you look and you're like, okay, so this really bothers them. And then you listen to what they kind of said and you're like, does it make sense? Does it work? So you kind of just let it sit there. You let it sit there usually for a day or two and you look and you're like, son of a if they're right. And him in general, he has a lot of different techniques, even in the detailing industry, where I would be coaching them, like, use a polisher on a seat. Like, what are you talking about? Like, even like when that came out and it worked, I'm like, okay, like, what? And then so I tried it. Like 3 weeks go by. I'm like, okay, what else do you got? Like, it's like weird stuff like that. So if I'm all for it, and I give people the benefit kind of to get their point across if it works. If it doesn't work and they're, it just not all the time, but if it's like more times it's just they're squawking or whatever, totally different. But if they have points and they're like, this is how it has to be done, this is why I want you to be here, it's seeing the vision that they're seeing that you're not seeing yet. That's what I'm excited for, because when you're with someone that's a visionary like that, you're going places. Because especially
he's so focused on business success and detailing efficiency. That is like, he's not out here as a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Like he is very narrowly like, this is what he does. He found his thing. And so I think the friction early on was that like, I was like, well, I'm a detailer too. And I make content and I'm a pro. I know what I'm doing. But it was a different, like, hey, I've been doing this a long time. Like I have my thoughts on things and I think that I'm usually right. And I think that you're wrong. And so it's like just kind of seeing over time, like most of the time that he is right. I'm just like you said, Andrew, I'm like, was he right? With the space of a 40,000 foot view and like time.
Yeah.
Can I look back and be like, All right, I got you. Yeah. So now it's like, dude, it's about what is best for the business. I see it now.
All right. I think that's a great place kind of to end that episode there. That was a great talk, Nick. And it's really cool to see how far DIY Detail has kind of became. So we'll kind of go into the outro from here. And
That's
as
it?
always,
No, I'm kidding. It's all good, man.
34th
Thank you
episode,
for
we're all
having me on.
set. Of course, man. It was great to have you on. Please like and subscribe. Buzz to Success podcast. We have tons of information there. And we're going to put Nick's information down in the description all over the place. And DIY Detail. If you haven't already, check them out. Have a great week detailing. Take care.